concern, or I guess what stands out about Colorado to you guys?
Yeah, I think with Colorado, the way their guards, they're aggressive and attacking. The way Johnson's been playing as a freshman has been terrific. I know there's so many great freshmen in the league, but he's really stepped up in a major way. And with Hargress, you got a veteran leader point guard who's a shot maker, and then they've got tremendous length everywhere else on the court. So they're effective in zone, they're effective in man. I've got tremendous respect for Coach Boyle. I think he's one of the best coaches in the country. I think he's someone that's been a proven winner over a long period of time. I know they've had some adversity lately, but they're going to come here urgent to get a win. And so we need to be at our best because I know that they're going to come in here hungry, to come into our home court.
With how well you guys have played the last two games after the two losses, I don't know if reassuring is the right word, but does it show who you guys are?
Well, I think the reason things change for us is, last week when we got back to the practice court, specifically with Taman and Joshua, their leadership, their communication, and their desire for our team to get stops and be physical on defense really changed the trajectory of where we were at. And I think that intent is so important. And Joshua has really taken on an added leadership role, communicating with all the guys, and the confidence that he gives his teammates when he's out there talking is phenomenal. Like, everybody gets elevated. We have such respect for him and everything that he does. So his communication is so great. And then I'd say, more than anything, offensively, it's the ball movement and sharing the ball. It's trusting each other. I think the amount of possessions where you see quick ball reversals, where you see guys trying to get each other shots, making plays for one another. And so our defensive intent has been so good. And then our offensive sharing the basketball has been good. And I feel like that's a huge part because of Taman and Joshua's leadership and Joshua's vocal presence with our team to kind of say, this is what we need to do. So practice last week was extremely competitive. I think that showed up for us in the games. We had a great practice today. And the task at hand is to have a great practice competitively every day and then carry that forward to the game. So I was really encouraged by our ability to do that last week. And then, I think what happens is when those things, are going on, now you see offensively, like Blake Buchanan had a great week for us. And he does so many things out there. You feel like defensively, there's two of Blake out there at times. Like, he's just flying around making extra effort plays. There's probably not a player that's more undervalued as a winner and makes us win and makes winning plays. But then when you see when the ball moves, what happens? He gets finishes, he gets offensive rebound putbacks, he gets monster rebounds at Oak State down the stretch and finishes on the glass. But they have 6-0 boards. Well, the ball's got to move to do that. And because it's moving, he's playing with tremendous energy and making so many plays out there for us. So I just think it all starts with Joshua and Taman's leadership. But then we have so many guys doing so many impactful winning things. I mean, Nate Heisey's getting traffic rebounds. He's not, offensively, we would love for him to be more aggressive. Absolutely. But, man, he gets big traffic rebounds and clutch stops for us. And so I think you just see so many guys playing for each other. I think you see Killian Torrey that trusts Joshua and others put in him early. And he comes down and knocks down 2 big threes, and that opens up the court. So practice habits, leadership of Jefferson, Lipsy, on the court, defensive intent, on the court, share the basketball. That's our equation for success. Now we've got to keep getting better at it every single day in practice.
We talked about practice there, game Saturday, game Thursday. That's an extended time to practice. How valuable is that during a condensed part of your schedule where you have 2-3 games a week in league play?
Yeah, no, I mean, we embrace all the opportunities to get out there. I think at this point in the year, there's a necessary time to rest, but then when you compete, to do everything one way and give it everything that you have. And our guys have done a really good job of embracing that competitiveness on the practice court where Taman's going at Killian and Buchanan and Plater are going at it. And, and we put Heisey on Jefferson and try to be disruptive there. And we want Milan to play through tremendous physicality and people trying to grab, hold, and do all those things. So all of that's so important for us. But, again, I've been really pleased with, when adversity hits, you learn more about your team when things get hard. And we were fortunate to have 16 games, not to say things didn't get hard, but when you're winning every time, you're not as reflective of all the things that you need to do. And so I think it was a huge encouraging sign for what I've seen in practice and the continued practices because we can keep getting better. Like, I like our team a lot. Like, we're in a great place, but we can keep getting better. And then what exciting possibilities does that bring as we keep improving because of our work habits, because of our practice habits, because we really care about getting a stop and we really care about sharing the ball. That's what it's about for us.
With this league, how much does the overall talent and skill stress your expectations and your standards, and in turn force you to lean into those habits repeatedly, because it's hard to play a good, let alone great 40 minutes when you're playing these types of teams?
No, it is, and I'd say this, like, not to, overstate it, but like I think there's the most elite teams in our league that we've had in our league, and then there's the most good teams in our league that we've had. So if you look at, the teams that stand out at the top, and then the teams that are in contention for an NCAA tournament berth, I think there's the most teams we've had. And the reason is there's great talent in our league, for sure. There's teams that are, the length and athleticism defensively is a whole different level, and it's been across the board. And so I think for us, you've just got to be really good at understanding, our guys do, of like, we can play well and still end up coming out with a loss that night. We could, the other team can play great. They can be on their A game. And so you can't get up and down as much based on the outcomes. We know we're highly competitive. We want to win every game. But I think the task at hand is to try to be at your absolute best on the night of that game by what you do in practice. And you also recognize the other team's trying to do that too, right? And the teams are really good. So for us right now, I think it's about a workmanlike approach, as you mentioned, like double down on those habits. Double down on, the narrative 2 weeks ago is we get off to slow starts. Okay, well, now we flip that. So double down on, let's get stops. Then the narrative's the ball's not moving as well. So let's double down on share the ball, move the ball, and then refocus on doing those same things. So, and understanding when you do them, you're also playing against a really good team that's trying to do everything they can to offset those things. So I just think you can't be emotional. You've got to stay together. As you get into February, the most together team wins. We're going to work really hard to be the most together team every single night out there. And like I said earlier, the leadership of Jefferson and Lipsy, and again, Joshua's like vocally taking over this team in such a great way. So we see all the stats and the numbers. That doesn't begin to tell the story about what a great job he's doing leading our team.
You guys won, kind of a couple questions back. You guys won the other day, but there's the second half, and how do you break that down, and did you address that with the team at all?
Yeah, what we broke down is, we had an amazing first half. We played 3 excellent halves of basketball in a row. And to me, everybody can always focus on one thing that wasn't exactly the way you wanted it to be. The reality is we came out and had tremendous focus, tremendous intent. We started up by 30 on the road in the Big 12 game. That sounds absurd to even say that. And I respect Coach Lutz and their program, and they're a team they're in contention for an NCAA tournament berth. They've got a great shot. So to me, you can look at everything, the glass half empty, the glass half full. How we chose to look at it with our group is we're 18-2, best 20-game start in the history of our program. We've got a lot in front of us. We're continuing to get better, and more than anything, it's looking at it and saying, it's going to be a really big challenge ahead. Not just the Colorado game, but the Big 12 conference play for the final 11 games of the season. So instead of dwell on what didn't go our way, let's focus on the things that we've done really well, which is get off to great starts, share the ball. The play of Buchanan, I think, is a huge thing to emphasize and talk about in terms of us playing well, because he's got such a motor and does so many winning things. And I think when you focus on those things and then you continue to build and grow and get better, like, great things are ahead of us. So that's where we told our guys after the game, and that's where we're going to keep our focus, because I think, everybody else wants to pick at or look at things that could be better. Certainly we want to be at our best, but we also recognize that the other team's trying to do that same thing too. So we're going to keep working and keep getting better.
You mentioned Blake Buchanan a few times, and there you said he's been playing really well for you the last couple of weeks. Earlier you mentioned the ball moves, he's able to kind of take advantage of ability to get to the rim or pass to offensive rebounds. How much does Blake Buchanan determine how well he plays relative to what you guys have improved by doing on the floor?
The thing I love about Blake, he's got a level of consistency to how he does everything every single day. Like, he's a very competitive, winning player, and he's consistent with how he does things. And certainly the majority of that, is up to him to make sure that he's at his best. But what I'll say is he scores the ball on empty rolls, lobs. He scores the ball when he gets behind the defense and has an angle to score, he scores the ball in the offensive glass, right? And so when the ball moves and he touches it more, it creates more of those opportunities. If the ball doesn't move as much and he has limited opportunities, many of the times there's a defender between him and the basket, so it's an entirely different play. So then it feels like to everybody on the outside that he's not finishing as well as he was, but the truth of the matter is he always finishes the right attempts, right? And so when the ball moves, he gets those. And I think it's my responsibility to make sure we continue to share it and move it, because how quick he is and another facilitator and on the move, when he's running in space, he's really hard to deal with. And so I think he has to work hard to make that happen. We have to work hard to move the basketball, but I think Blake is, I mean, he's a tremendous player. He is going to be somebody that we talk about for a number of years when we recruit at that position. We want the smarts, we want the competitiveness, we want the multiple efforts, we want the offensive rebounding, we want the toughness, we want the resiliency. Blake brings so much to the table for our team winning. So yes, he's got his part to control, but we've got our part in everything that we do to make him feel like he's very involved, and so that he gets the great attempts that he needs.
Responding to adversity is something you've talked a lot about over 5 years. Is there a different way a team needs to approach that, or maybe it happens organically or differently when, like, the first couple of years where there are no or moderate expectations for a group versus now where it's Final Four, win a Big 12 tournament or championship? Like, is there a different way that you have to approach that as a group?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what happens is, you know, as the standard in our program has elevated, right, like there's a natural inclination for people to look at it and say, we want to keep climbing and we want more. And we absolutely embrace that for sure. And at the same time, you know, it's not a situation where how we look at it is we're either going to win it all or it's doom and gloom, right? We look at it as we want to be the best version of the team that we have. We want to keep our guys focused on that. You know, and certainly we try to tell them, stay off social media. You know, like it's a natural inclination for everybody to want better and better and better. This year has to be better than last year. Next year has to be better than that year. And ultimately what we need to focus on is the guys in that locker room being connected, being the best version, because adversity is going to set in. And you know, to answer your question directly, we do need to handle it differently. And the best thing that I've seen is, like I said, Joshua stepping up for us and saying, like, I'm going to set the tone. I'm going to set the tone defensively. I'm going to set the tone by moving and sharing the basketball. And that's how we're going to handle adversity on the court. And then how we're going to handle it off the court is we're going to invest an inordinate time in each other, going to meals, hanging out, watching the CFP, watch the Super Bowl, whatever that may be. Continuing to invest in each other so that when a narrative is created on the outside of some negative thing, you know, that we push through that. I mean, look, at the start of the year, we lost an exhibition game to Creighton, and I'm pretty sure there was a fair amount of outside people that were saying, here's all the problems. And those weren't the problems. They were wrong then. And so to me, we know what we do every single day. We know our process. We know how darn good this league is, and we know there's more adversity coming, and we embrace that. Man, we're going to keep practicing hard, getting better. And our leaders, I'm very proud of Joshua, Taman, how they do that and how they carry themselves, because ultimately when adversity hits, people look at the head coach, people look at, you know, best players or the leaders of the team. And so those guys have handled it really well, and we need to be very intentional with how we handle adversity so we can get right on to the next thing and not let us hold us back.
For Joshua, very quiet guy, it seems like, at least to us. What does it say that he's taken a vocal stance, I guess, for you guys, both for your program and for him individually?
I mean, you look at how much he put into his development over the time he's been here. He's completely a different player than the one that arrived here, and that's a byproduct of all of his hard work. And so sometimes for young people it can be really hard to understand how, you know, what you can do for other people actually is what can move the team forward at this point, even more than your hard work. Because he's done all that. His body looks great, his conditioning, his shot, his passing. I mean, he's a bionic man, right? And at the same time now, the competitive is, how do you uplift your teammates? How do you keep leaning into them? How do you get them to play for you instead of with you? And he's done a remarkable job of that. And I think it's a testament to his character. It's a testament to how important this game is, how much he loves Iowa State, how much he wants his teammates to do well. And it's been one of the best leadership things I've been a part of in terms of When it got hard, he stepped up for us. When it got difficult, he said, I'm gonna be the one to take the reins of this. That's really hard to do, especially when you're doing everything that he's doing, working on his game and producing as well. So I just think it's a huge testament to what a great young man, what a great player, what a great Cyclone that he truly is.
How do you feel the basketball court open up when Killian's able to get a couple 3-balls from the ball?
Yeah, and again, just like I said for Blake, like I think if you look at the shot quality that he got, right? Like he got open looks when guys helped in gaps, and I think it's the same thing for Blake. It's not that Killian wasn't hitting shots. It was we weren't getting him opportunities through our ball movement. And when the ball moved and he got the looks that came from the paint, both of them that he hit right away early in the game, he makes those shots, right? Well, the challenge is if he's not as involved offensively and he's not to touch the ball very often, and now one comes out to him late in the shot clock and it's contested and it's not from the paint and he misses it, people look at the stats and say, well, he's not shooting as well as he was before. And I'd say both for him and Blake, there's been a consistent theme last week. The ball moved better. Now the questions of their production offensively go away. And so we just have to really focus on trusting everybody, right? Like Killian's put a ton of work into his shot. Like he's going to make the shot when we drive it to the paint, collapse the defense, and kick it out at a very high rate. He made it in Vegas. He made it last game. He'll make it when that shot comes out. The trick is for us to move the ball and share the ball and keep it on the move so that opportunity presents itself and that he continues to stay ready because we have tremendous confidence in his ability to shoot it.
During the summer, you mentioned how you wanted to challenge Taman to be more of a vocal leader. How have you seen him take a step forward in that department this season?
Yeah, you can always tell the internal pride and care that Taman has to do well, a job well done, how much he loves, putting on the Cyclone jersey and playing with passion. I think his voice, because of who he is and how he works and how he does things, has such gravity and such power with our team. And I would say even right now, like he is a great leader, and there's always going to be a part of me that says, man, we want more. We want more vocal because he knows exactly what to say. He's another coach on the floor. Again, I talk about uplifting teammates and giving confidence, and his words mean so much. When he says something, you feel like that's what's going to happen. When he says this is what we're going to do. And so continuing to do that as we move forward is going to be so important, and I'm proud of the opportunities he's taken up to this point, and I'm going to continue to be demanding that more of those opportunities come.
Coach, you mentioned the freshmen for Colorado and, of course, the freshmen you've got playing. What is it about the freshmen in this league this year that it's seen such an influx of talent?
Yeah, I think it's really helped elevate our league again to being the best league in the country, and I don't think it's close anymore. And I think you see on every team there's impactful winning freshmen that are, whether they're starters or playing significant minutes. Well, 3-4 years ago, there was hardly any freshmen playing in this league. And so it speaks to the great job in evaluation that so many coaches in our league are doing, but it speaks more to the young men and their preparation for this opportunity. Because like I said earlier, this league at the top, and then even, with teams that can go to the tournament's the best I've seen. And for so many teams to have so many freshmen, and Colorado has, 4 or 5 guys that are playing, meaningful minutes. Great job by them in their evaluation, and great job by those young people to do the hard work to prepare themselves to play in this league right away.